my cheating fiancé got karma. Her affair partner had an incurable STD. They say, karma's a bitch, and luckily, my unfaithful fiancé got a taste of it. My fiancé, Jennifer, I'm 25, and I, MT28, have been engaged for over 1 year now. I met her 3 years ago at a family event. It was my grandmother's birthday, and she instructed everyone to invite as many people as they knew. She wanted to have a feast with many people because she was celebrating her 80th birthday. My grandparents are wealthy people. It's the kind of wealth that you cannot really waste. They own a jewelry company, name withheld for personal reasons, that is extremely successful. I believe that one of the secrets to their success is their ability to say no at all times. They are economic people who spend on a budget, even with their level of wealth. My parents work at their company too, and they are almost as wealthy as them. Don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to show off how rich my family is. This is an important part of my experience with my fiancé. Yes, money was involved. A few days to my grandma's birthday, she instructed all her grandchildren to bring at least 5 people to her party. My grandmother has 12 grandchildren, so you can imagine how many people were present. This list is excluding her children's guests and their own guests. On my grandma's birthday, it looked like a carnival. There were over 300 people present. It was a party that had a lasting effect on my life. My siblings and I dressed our best because we did not want to disobey her request for us to look presentable. We liked parties, but we just didn't think our grandma could throw a youthful party. I did not look forward to the party, and honestly, I thought it would bore me to sleep. But I was wrong, very wrong. I still remember how shocked I was when I walked into the hall. It looked like a bachelorette party. The music, food, drinks, lighting, and decor were everything beyond my imagination. My grandma definitely had taste. I concluded that the stingy woman wanted to be generous on her 80th birthday. LOL. There were so many people in attendance that I actually spotted some of my teachers when I was in high school. It was a refreshing night and a surprising one too. After going around and welcoming guests, I decided to mingle with my age group since I was bored of laughing with grannies. Yes, I was bored. My brother, Darius, asked me to come meet some of his college friends. Darius is just a year older than me. I was in my 3rd year of college while he was in his last. We attended different colleges, so it was nice to meet his friends. That was the moment I met Jennifer. She stood timidly behind her friends and only spoke when she was spoken to. At that moment, I knew she had to be the most beautiful woman I'd ever seen. She had delicate features, and her calm demeanor only made me drawn to her. Back then, I had my fair share of girlfriends and had dated different women before, but I felt quite drawn to Jennifer. I remember staring at her for a very long time, yet she did not even notice me. One by one, I said hello to my brother's friends, and then I got to her. I asked her what her name was, and that was when she looked up and met my gaze. She looked confused and even turned around to see if I was talking to someone else. When I made no move to leave, she told me her name. I tried making conversation with her, but Jennifer was determined to ignore me. You know that saying, men like to chase. In my case, it was true. The more she ignored me, the more I wanted to know more about her. I did not even pay attention to the party anymore. I was interested in the innocent petite lady that was determined to ignore my existence. Innocent my foot. Darius noticed my actions and pulled me to the side that night. My brother and I are very close, so he could tell that I was attracted to her. I asked him if he was friends with her, and he said no. He explained to me that she was a transfer student who just came to the college. I was quite surprised that she transferred in her last year of college. Darius said they did not speak much since she's always reserved, and that the only reason he invited her was because she was friends with his girlfriend. Darius could already tell I liked her, so he advised me not to force her into speaking to me. I did not have a problem with that. I concluded that if she wanted to speak to me, she would on her own terms. That night, I gave Jennifer her space and proceeded to enjoy the party. After some time, I completely forgot about Jennifer. I had so much fun that I did not think about the girl that grabbed my attention anymore. My grandma later called all her grandchildren for a toast during the party. We grabbed our glasses of wine and joined her on the stage. It was a nice moment because even though the woman is stingy, she loves her grandchildren. The night came to an end, and it was time to escort the guests out and give them their parting gift. I recall seeing Jennifer whisper something to her friend before pointing at me. They seemed to be in a serious conversation. I never really thought about it much back then, but now I understand what that conversation was all about. Immediately after their conversation, Jennifer walked towards me and stood right in front of me. She had a friendly smile on her face as she complimented the party and our hosting skills. I can still remember how shocked and confused I was when she did that. Barely 2 hours before that, she ignored my existence. Why did she suddenly feel the need to come up to me and initiate a conversation? That was the question that ran through my mind at that moment. I'm a straight talker, and I always feel the need to express how I feel. Back then that night, I asked her why she suddenly came up to me to initiate a conversation. Yes, I asked her that. She laughed it off and said she needed time to get used to the environment before, and that was why she was not responsive. I believed her right away and was back to crushing on her. We spoke for a while before my grandma called for me. I only realized that I forgot to ask for her number when I went to bed that night. I can still recall how pissed off and disappointed I was when I got into my room. I lost the opportunity to ask for her number when I had the perfect opportunity. 2 weeks after that day, something unusual happened. I received a Facebook friend request from Jennifer. I know how that sounds. I should have been relieved that I had a way to contact her, but I was not. It felt strange to me because my Facebook timeline had no real information about me. I used a different name. Picture of a car and just randomly posted anime memes. Not even my own brother could tell it was my Facebook account. I didn't even have any of my family members as friends. I was never a social media person, so I just wanted an account where I could post anonymously. So when I got the friend request from Jennifer, I had to do a double take. It felt quite mysterious. I spent minutes thinking about it before I finally accepted the friend request. What was more strange was the fact that she sent me a message addressing me with my real name. Hi, Ryan. I found it strange, but after some time, I brushed it off. I told myself I should feel grateful that I did not have to go through the hassle of looking for her contact. I could have asked Darius to get Jennifer's number from his girlfriend, but Darius and I had a bro code where we swore never to help each other in dating a girl. This was because none of us wanted to be responsible if the relationship ended up in shambles. Well, mine did. From chatting on Facebook all night, Jennifer and I started calling each other often. We went on friendly dates to get ice cream, and sometimes we'd go jogging together. I liked Jennifer a lot, and so I tried my best to see her every day even though I was busy. Jennifer was great. She was extremely nice to my friends and family, and she even offered to help my grandma with baking. That was a big deal for my grandma. Jennifer was the definition of a perfect girlfriend with no faults. She was caring and loving. I fell in love with her all over again anytime we met. There were no red flags at all. No red flags are red flags, trust me. As time went on, I knew that I had fallen too deeply for her. Before I met her, I never saw the need to have a serious girlfriend. I was in college and just wanted to have fun and explore, but Jennifer made me fall deeply for her, so deeply that the thought of being with another woman disgusted me. 1 year later, she graduated from college, and I got into the final year of college. Jennifer told me she was worried about moving too far away from me for her internship, so I asked my grandpa to pull some strings and let her have her internship in the jewelry store. My grandpa did not think twice before making it happen. He also liked Jennifer and believed she was a good influence on me. A few months later, I began to notice some changes in Jennifer. She would randomly accuse me of cheating for no reason at all. At first, I found it cute because I liked the idea of her getting jealous, but with time, it became annoying. She would stop picking my calls and completely ghost me for weeks. Yes, weeks. I gave her the space she needed and never attempted to go see her at the jewelry store. My grandparents were very strict about work, so I let her be. I did not want to be the reason she did not get a good review. We grandparents are extremely strict. Jennifer took my good intentions for granted and started creating random problems in our relationship. Sometimes she would ask me to send her money so she could buy a new dress and go to dinner with me. After sending the money, Jennifer would switch off her phone and ghost me completely. The fact that I loved her very much made me oblivious to her emotional blackmails. I was raised to be a gentleman, so anytime she cried and accused me of not understanding her, I would feel guilty and try to make it up to her. She made me feel like I was the one making the relationship difficult. 6 months later, Jennifer was back to her normal self and we were happy again. I also graduated from college and began my internship at a hospital in town name withheld for personal reasons. I also had a side job I was doing that brought in money. Another 6 months later, I proposed to Jennifer. Many people thought I moved too fast, but I honestly didn't care. At that time, we only knew each other for 2 years, but it felt like forever because we saw each other almost every single day. I was just 27 and she was 24, but we were ready to commit on that level. I didn't really plan on getting married soon after our engagement because we still had our careers to pursue. The engagement was the beginning of my problems with Jennifer. The innocent, calm, and delicate girl I fell in love with became this rude, conceited, and violent person. Jennifer would curse at me, ignore my siblings when she came over, and even went as far as rolling her eyes when my parents tried to correct her. My family could tell that I was slowly regretting my decision, and they did not want that to happen. I am a very intentional man. I was raised to be mature and thoughtful. The reason I was so drawn to Jennifer was never solely because of her beauty. I was drawn to her personality, the personality I thought she had. 3 months later, I began to withdraw from the relationship. I stopped texting her regularly, and I even stopped seeing her altogether. She was still regarded as my fiancée, but we did not even hold hands. Jennifer seemed to like development, and she went on with her life. During those months, I focused on my internship and the side job I had. My parents really wanted me to finish well, so I could get my doctorate degree early. I was also quite interested in being a doctor and working in hospitals, so I worked harder than ever. 4 months later, I got the shock of my life. That morning, I'd just finished having breakfast when Jennifer stormed into my room with teary eyes. I was honestly shocked to see her because we had basically lost all contact. I even forgot that I had a fiancé. Jennifer told me she urgently needed my help. Of course, she was my fiancé. I was not going to sit there and pretend she was not. I honestly thought she was hurt, so I asked what was wrong. Jennifer told me her brother's, Greg, was really sick and needed urgent medical attention. I was confused. Yes, I was, but I did not have time to be. I remember grabbing my car keys and asking her to take me to the hospital where he was being treated. When I got to the hospital, I allowed Jennifer to lead me to where he was being attended to. The guy that laid on the hospital bed looked quite sick and weak. As a doctor myself, I asked her if he had gotten tests done yet. Jennifer told me the doctors were to deliver the test results that same day. I decided to wait there until the test results came. Greg looked too weak for what Jennifer described as FFR. I wanted to know what was wrong with him. So Jennifer and I patiently waited for the doctor's test results. I even paid off the bills and bought them food to eat. I also gave Jennifer some money to keep in case they needed anything. I still saw him as my brother-in-law to be, even though I was thinking of ending things with Jennifer. Later that evening, the doctor arrived with the test results. He wanted to speak to Greg alone and reveal the results to him first, but Greg insisted that the doctor spoke in front of us because we were family. The test results practically took the breath out of me for a second. Greg had been diagnosed with an incurable STD. I was so shocked that I did not say a single word. I still remember how Greg screamed and asked the doctor if it was a prank. The doctor told him it was not, and that he needed urgent treatment. Greg practically broke into tears and pulled his hair. I expected the reaction from him, but I did not expect to see Jennifer fall to her knees and punch Greg on the legs. I still remember her exact words. "You monster, how could you? You knew you had STD, yet you slept with me all these months without protection." I was shocked to say the least. I did not understand what she meant at first until it all suddenly came rushing to me. Greg was not her brother. He was her lover. He was the man she had been cheating on me with, the man I just foolishly paid $5,000 for. I did not wait one more second there. I just left the hospital and drove home. The last time Jennifer and I had been intimate was over a year ago, and we always used protection, but I needed to be sure. I got tested that same day, and after a few days, I tested negative. That was 3 months ago. My family were the most surprised. They were thankful that I dodged a bullet with Jennifer. I later discovered that Jennifer had been stealing from my family's jewelry store. She was only with me for money. Everything was planned by her. Even the night at the party when she came to say goodbye to me and that Facebook friend request. She had been stalking my brother and I after she found out who our grandparents were. That night, when she saw my grandma call her grandchildren to the stage, she got the confirmation she needed. She could not get with my brother because he was dating her friend, so she chose me. We also discovered that the reason Jennifer transferred from her previous college was because she got into trouble with a loan shark. Thankfully for me, I escaped her evil ways and was able to find out who she was before it was too late, and I married her. I still get goosebumps when I think about how foolish I was. But hey, life is a lesson after all. Update. I never expected my story to get as much attention as it did. Thank you to everyone who read this awful experience of mine and dropped their thoughts. The witch, that's what you all call Jennifer, Lo. She really is one. It's been 6 months, and I later discovered that Jennifer got STD too. I don't know how serious hers is, but I was told she moved out of town. Apparently, Jennifer had been cheating on me from the very first day we started dating. Luckily for me, she only started dating Greg months after I stopped seeing her. Jennifer got her karma. I really dodged a bullet, Loyal. I hope you all learned something from my traumatizing experience. I have learned a lot from it. Life's better now that I don't have an emotional abuser with me. Thank you, people on Reddit. Your comments were helpful. Happy Easter.